Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Squills here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about how to improve your KD and win more. So, in Rainbow Six, your KD is not as important as in other games, and a lot of people will be really quick to disagree with this. And KD to a lot of people is like kind of how you judge a player. If they have a high KD, they must be like super good, and if they have a low KD, they must be really bad. It's really not the case, but a lot of people who think they're really good gunners, who are trying to be really good gunners, that's all they look at, right? KD. And I think that there's ways of improving your KD that don't involve just improving your aim and getting super nutty with Ash, Jaeger, and Doc, and just trying to win more gunfights. Like, I think gunfights, while they are important, are not the biggest part of your KD. And learning how to improve your KD in a way that makes you a better team player, I think, is the better way to try to learn and improve your KD. Just my opinion. So here's how I'm going to put it. Think about if you literally never die in Rainbow Six Siege. In a ranked match, you go in and you never die. Usually this will realistically only happen if you're just completely destroying the other team and you're winning rounds with multiple people left, or you're just having an incredible game and you're pretty much winning. But if you never die in Rainbow Six Siege, the only way for you to lose on attack is if you just run out of time, and the only way to lose on defense is if you let the enemies plant and then the timer runs out on the plant. Right? So the only way that you can possibly lose is an objective loss, right? If you never die, the only way you can lose is an objective loss. So how many objective losses or wins happen in ranked where the timer runs out, or the attackers plant the diffuser and the defenders just let the timer tick off? Like, even in Pro League, this almost never happens. So technically, if you stay alive, your chances in any ranked match or any round look really, really good, because most rounds will come down to deaths. So that's what we're going to be focusing on in this video, is how to mitigate your deaths, how to keep your deaths as low as possible, and how to really just eliminate the stupidest kind of deaths. So I'm going to split it into attack and defense, because the dynamic with each of them, especially involving the time, is just so different. So if you like suck at attack or you suck at defense, just like skip to a different part of the video where I'm talking about that one. So anyway, attack first. At least in my opinion, the biggest cause of deaths for attackers is lack of droning. And it's not even like complicated droning where teammates are droning each other in and they have like all these rotate drones set up and they're trying to communicate and like there's a miscommunication. Like, it's not even that. It's just people trying to enter maps and clearing manually but failing miserably at that. When I say clearing manually, I mean instead of droning ahead in a room and then entering it, they enter the room and kind of like clear it with their sights, and they like check all the different corners and stuff. It's just completely unnecessary. And some people will just open a door on, like, maybe it's an entrance far away from the objective. They'll just open the door and sprint in thinking no one's going to be this far away from the objective, like on this side of the map or whatever. And then if somebody is there, they complain about, oh my god, this guy's a complete bot, what the hell are you doing there, this kid sucks, how did he kill me, this is stupid. And that's like pretty rage inducing, to be honest, but it can totally be avoided if you just always drone yourself in. Like, if you make a policy of always droning yourself in, not only will you die stupidly a lot less, but your attitude towards the game will improve, and you'll get a lot less tilted because you're eliminating stupid deaths to people who you think are worse than you, right? And another thing that, like I mentioned earlier, that miscommunication and droning and stuff like that is really not the biggest problem. But like, if you're solo queuing and your teammate dies, and let's say they don't really call out where they die from, and then you die to that same person, that can also be really frustrating. But it can also be avoided by creating what I like to call the big picture. Like, think about where your teammates are And if they die in a certain position, think about where the enemy could have come from to kill them in that situation. So if they don't call it, then you could have a chance, not always, but could have a chance of killing that person and getting the refrag, rather than just being clueless and oblivious to their death, and then when you die just complaining about them not calling, right? Because the easiest deaths to avoid often, and the ones that usually don't get corrected, are the ones that you have an easy excuse for. Like when you die to someone sitting on the other side of the map, you think, well, that guy's just a bot, he has no idea what he's doing, he was just wandering around on the other side of the map because he's just stupid, and then he killed me because he's lucky. That's a stupid excuse, and you wouldn't think of fixing that death, because like, why? Like, I don't think I'm gonna run into like that many like terrible kids who don't know what they're doing, so you don't fix that. Or for the other situation, you're like, okay, well, I'm not gonna solo queue that much, or like, that's just stupid, like most people should call where they die, like that's his fault, not mine. When really, even if it is maybe the other person's fault, or the other player actually was not that good and didn't know what they're doing, both could pretty much easily be avoided by doing something yourself and fixing your own problem. So on defense, in my opinion, the #1 cause of death is just being way over aggressive, and this is something that I really need to stress. Spawn peeking, running out blind a lot of times, or with insufficient information, like just peeking unnecessarily, like ridiculously peeking aggressively, like not just like trying to hold an angle to maybe catch an enemy off guard, just like someone opens a thermite breach and you're just like constantly peeking it and holding like all these angles on people that are outside and literally pose no immediate threat to the objective. Stuff like that. Like, you don't need to peek things all the time. Pengu made a point about this in one of his videos. He said like the mindset of ranked players, and he plays with diamonds, by the way, so this is not just like a low elo thing. It's like, should I peek? No, if they think no, or if they think yes, then they peek, and if they think no, then they do it anyway. Like, this impulse like should stop. If you're actually conscious and thinking about how to get better in Rainbow Six Siege, this should probably be like the first thing to go. Like, don't always peek things. Think about, is it smart to peek it? And then make a decision based off that. Okay, like, your life as a defender is worth more the longer you stay alive, right? So let's say someone opens up a breach, like as thermite, and you think that the enemies are going to execute through that breach. If you just take your time and you play the strong positions that you've had all the prep phase and most at the beginning of the action phase to set up your own like strong position, and you just use that position that you've created and the advantages that you have in terms of intel and gadgets and utility as a defender, if you use all of that to try to waste the attacker's time, then you will be so much more effective when they're creating this kind of like impromptu, like ad-lib, last minute execute that they're just kind of throwing together because there's a minute left or less and they need to get on site and plant. When they're doing that, that's when you shine as a defender, right? Even if you're not like a smoke or someone with a C4 where you're really clutching those situations, even if you're just a normal defender, if you just play your positions correctly at the last minute or like at the end of the round, attackers will just push you so recklessly because they just don't have time. So if you're dead by then, you're missing out on tons and tons of easy kills. Not to mention, like, your death earlier in the round, unless you're defending something that's really important, your death doesn't really stand behind anything. Like, if you're peeking something where even if you win the peek, let me put it this way. If you peek someone and you win, and all you gain from that is a peek, then it's not really worth the risk, right? Because your life as a defender, the more you stay alive, is worth more than just trading it out. So I think that's something that you really need to think about before you peek, and that should be one of the main key factors when you're thinking about whether you should peek or not. So that's really what I wanted to stress for this video on each side. Think about this if you're trying to improve your KD, not just trying to become a better aimer and a better gunner. I think this is a more wholesome way to improve as a player while also improving your KD, and it'll definitely go a long way if you join a team or a 5-stack or any kind of competitive scene where you're playing consistently with other players in roles, because teams appreciate a conscious support or flex role who knows what they're doing and still can get kills, but in a smart way rather than just like an Ash Jaeger peek everything and I'm gonna out aim you and outgun you. I think just the other roles are more appreciated and honestly just more effective. So thank you for watching the video. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to smash a like on the video if you did, and subscribe for other content like this. I got tons of other videos on this channel that I think you guys would enjoy if you haven't already seen them. So thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.